zombie face? Are you're orgasming? Sleepy? Like what is that?
It's all of them.
Oh, gross.
God damn it.
Ew.
We just got back from The Dead Don't Die, which is a bit of an indie film. I don't see it, in massive wide release. So I'm sure, maybe not many people will watch this review. But for those of you who do, here is our review of this film. Directed by a very unique guy. What's his name, Jim? Jarmusch. Who has a certain sense of style, and it basically goes like this. So, looks like we've got our case solved. Looks like it's ghouls.
I like the way he says it.
Ghouls.
It's like too realistic at sometimes.
Zombies. So, what's our plan of action here, guys? We're in the film.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying anything for effect because they don't say things.
Right. And that's kind of how the film goes. And so here's the thing. He's got really talented actors behind him. Awesome. Adam Driver does a great job at delivering his lines.
I loved him in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Entertaining as hell. I feel, though, he wastes a little bit of Bill Murray. Bill Murray's character, kind of muted. I think anybody could have played that role as Bill Murray. But Bill Murray, again, like Adam, does his best with the very limited material that you have here. And what this is it just feels like very little effort went into it. But I think that's on purpose. The story just is extremely slow. Joe even warned me. See, if I wasn't warned, I probably would have gotten thrown out and been even more angry as things were going along. But Joe pre-warned me, and I'm pre-warning y'all, that the movie is very incredibly slow. It's done that way on purpose. In fact, he pulled up an article on this guy's style.
Yeah, it's more, he cares more about how the characters are acting and their mood in every individual scene than advancing the plot. And so that's more important to him.
Yeah, very little plot progression, and then the film pretty much ends. But honestly, here we'll talk about, in spoilers, how it kind of ends. I feel they kind of rush the ending, so it's like you're doing all this meandering just to kind of rush things at the end. This concept couldn't really work for me. It was a clash of tones, again, on purpose. You've got a zombie apocalypse obviously happening, and in most films, people are like, I'm going to blow up my mic. That kind of stuff when stuff is happening. But here it's the complete opposite. It is deadpan.
Deadpan.
Yeah. So if you're expecting something like Zombieland, you're in for a big surprise.
This movie is odd.
Yeah, it's Zombieland. That's right. Another zombie comedy. This is a zombie comedy.
Exactly.
With Bill Murray. Unfortunately, that film I would call a Michael Bay film in comparison to this one in terms of, that thing has action and everything in it. This is a real slow burn. Did you guys enjoy this film?
I thought it was pretty good. The first and second act, it was not great. It was good. And then third act is where everything fell apart for me.
Okay. So you were enjoying the slow.
Yeah,
you had prepped your body, though, Joe.
Yeah, I don't mind slow films, but then at the end it got kind of crazy for me. It's like it just kind of turned me off on that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it as much as he did in the beginning. I think there's some high points sprinkled throughout this whole film where there's bursts of comedy. Adam Driver's comedic timing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of jokes with repetition, and then some of those kind of catch you off guard, and you're like, I'm not gonna laugh at it. This is stupid. And then they do it one more time, and you're like, all right. This
and that's what helped.
I don't want to laugh at it. I hate sometimes that when people run jokes into the ground or it gets too repetitive, and they do that here, and they do it on purpose. Yeah. But because the actors are so good, because the atmosphere is set up for it, it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
But much like OJ, the third act just kind of got weird. And I know, because you're ready. I'm ready for odd. But then characters disappear. They're like, oh, there's this other group of characters. They're just gone. We don't know where the hell that they went. And then there's these people, and this doesn't make any sense. And then stuff happens.
It goes from sort of odd to surreal to bizarre. Odd, surrealist, bizarre, back down to odd. So you have that little weird spike there, and you're like, I'm not really sure you earned this. I'm not really sure this makes any sense.
Yeah.
And actually, you didn't earn it, and it makes no sense, and maybe it's there because of those things. You can never tell with this particular director. But honestly, just because you put something there that's surprising or that subverts your expectations doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work every time. And you can subvert expectations and have it work. Like this film, I think, when it is firing on all cylinders, and they're real slow, quiet cylinders, but it's fascinating. You immerse yourself in the world, in the mood, and you're kind of going along with the characters. But there is just no satisfying payoff here.
There's not. There's also one subplot that went nowhere in this film, and I thought we were going to get back to it later on, but it went nowhere.
Yeah. A lot of subplots go nowhere, though.
Yeah, but this one just like, you wasted that time trying to focus on this instead of focusing on the main part of the movie.
Yeah.
And then you got lectured at the very end of the movie, and I didn't
so
appreciate it.
the film has some heavy tones of some political tones, trying to push a little bit of a message, an environmental message, a materialistic message, a society message. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of reviewers are like, I don't want to be preached to, or things like that. But and some films can pull it off, and some films can't pull it off. But I think it's kind of lazily done here, and it's just it rings so hollow because you're not really doing much with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I understand when you're doing with it, with like funny jokes that do have payoff.
Message.
Like what message from?
From was it? Don't drink.
Jesus Christ, Joe, that is so obscure.
What, you don't remember that? Keenan Ivory Wayans comes in. He's like, message. No, you don't remember that. Terrible. Okay. I guess you guys.
Alex, are you gonna say anything?
Nope.
You're not gonna bail him out?
Nope. Sorry.
All right. There's your buddy Joe right there.
I'm just watching him dig the hole.
I bail him
buddy.
out all the time. All right, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, why you drinking OJ in the hood and Menace to Society? That joke was funny. What's that dude's name with the red hat?
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi has a funny hat with a funny message on it. That kind of stuff is funny, poking fun. But sort of the political message here, it's just so what do you call it? Superficial.
Yeah. It's not a political. Like, I don't want to turn people off because it's not. No, it's not a political message. It's more of an environmental message within this film. So it's.
I mean, there's some political stuff in here, but that's what the Steve Buscemi and the poking point. It wasn't in your face. It was just done for a few chuckles.
Yeah.
So like they said, a lot of things work in the film, and when scenes are developing and they're interacting, it's just so genuine. It feels really good, but it also feels like a sort of dream. It's a little surreal, a little bit like a lazy dream kind of thing. It has no interest in progressing, solving things, getting to going, but because you like the character so much, you're okay with it up until that ending. I think all three of us agree on this ending, leaving you unsatisfying and saying, I see where you're going with it. I see what you're doing. You're trying to be clever, but ultimately, Phil, doesn't work. But everybody puts in good performance. Tom Waits, I love Tom Waits. Great performer, singer, just a very talented dude, and great acting, really. Who else? The Chardonnay lady is very funny, but basically, a lot of the sort of trailer shots. If you see what the trailer is, those are the types of jokes that are in this film. So if you liked that. This is a very hard recommendation. Like, I was thinking to myself, this is one of those films like I can't recommend. I can't.
Yeah,
You know,
same.
if you're a fan of Jim as a director, then maybe go and see this one. But we were talking with a particular gentleman that felt this was one of his weaker ones.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to look him up on my own. I only found Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog or something with Forrest Whitaker, where he's like a samurai with dreads in the city or something.
Yeah,
You remember that?
I actually have that on.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it, Joe. Look it up.
Okay.
Apparently, that's one of the things that he's done before, and he's got some stinkers and he's got some good ones, but he certainly has his own style here, and they really don't make films like this anymore because they don't perform very well.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a national release, so
Yeah. It's not going to make very much money, but if you run into it or you're worried that maybe I should see this, it's got Bill Murray, it's got Adam Driver, you can hold off. So let's go
scream it or something.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do final verdicts.
Go ahead.
Alex,
I have no idea. It's such a odd movie.
does feel like we should rate it on a different scale, but nah, you got to rate it.
There are parts that it meanders. There are characters that are just like introduced and thrown away, and then there's characters that like they're setting up for something and just disappear. Some of the humor is good. Some of the humor I'm going to repeat the joke so often that I was getting angry. It was like, okay, I get it. Stop it. I'm going to give this a 5 with a big asterisk because this is a weird fucking movie. And there are parts that are enjoyable. Like if you like all the characters and if you're ready for a weird time, see this movie. Especially if you like a slower kind of almost a spoof on a zombie film. But if you're looking for something that's going to like entertain you all throughout or make you laugh constantly, this isn't for you.
Yeah. I liked it a little bit more than Alex. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I did like the first and second act. Adam Driver kind of held that movie together. And there were a lot of characters that were really a waste. They were wasted in my eyes. And at the end, really threw everything off the rails for me. I did not like the ending. I didn't like it. It just took so long.
Yeah.
There was no payoff at the end or anything.
Okay.
So, but it's a above average movie, but I don't recommend it either.
I disagree that there's no payoff at the end. It's just not a satisfying payoff. I can see a certain type of audience enjoying that ending. So it's very difficult.
obscure.
Stick with us in spoilers so that you can know what it is if you're not going to see the film. So what was your rating again?
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it's tough. It's definitely 5-6. Between me, for me, it's either a 5 or a 6. I'm gonna go to 6, and the only reason why I'm bumping it up is because I haven't seen this guy's other films. So for me, anytime somebody sort of steps out of the normal Hollywood routine of things and offers us something unique and different that's kind of fascinating, and while he does, in my opinion, fuck it up, or maybe that was his intention the whole time, I just don't feel like it was satisfying ending. It made it dangerously close to making the whole thing pointless, but it's not pointless because the performances were really, really good, the mood was really, really good, and I felt like I was in a lazy dream. And so when a movie can make me feel something different like that, I'll give it that extra point. 5 or 6, we'll go with 6 out of 10 for The Dead Don't Die, with the famous song from Scott Scruggins. I can't believe I can't remember the name with how often they said the singer's name.
Sturgis
or something like that.
Sturgis. God,
He was in the movie
we are
too.
terrible.
Yeah.
He was the zombie dragging the guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's a guitar. That's a legit. See, I know so little about country music that I didn't know that he's a real guy. He's a real country artist.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think. All right, guys. That's it for us. Stick around for the spoiler section. If not, then we appreciate you dropping by. See you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. So, here's the spoiler section. They all die at the end, except for one character, Tom Waits, who is
the kids. All the kids live.
Yeah, that was a weird
Where they
subplot.
The kids in the trouble, the
detention center?
juvenile detention center. They just like run away and you never see them again.
Yeah. That's
what the fuck?
That's the one I was talking
You were just
about.
like, yeah, they keep focusing on them. They just run away.
I thought maybe they'd end up at the fucking cemeteries. Guys, I know a place to hide, they said. I can't believe, I'm still waiting for the movie to finish.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about, because it focuses on them, it cuts back to them, it shows a little bonding experience. It's like, hey, let's go over here. Never to be seen from again.
It's so weird. They're back of their jackets. I think it's at CDC or something like that.
It's the
correctional
Centerville
department.
Yeah, it's Centerville Detention Center.
Detention Center.
Yeah.
And wow, a completely unresolved plot line. I didn't know that was supposed to mean, okay, we're leaving the movie now. I know a place to hide. Follow me.
Pointless.
What? Then what was the fucking point in following them? Then all their reactions. 5 out of 10.
See, it's weird for weird's sake.
5 out of 10. Why did I fuck it up? I'm gonna go back and I'm stopping and I'm dropping this into thing. 5 out of 10. You'll know why in the spoiler section.
Well, see, that's why I'm saying this is the third act. That's where everything started falling big time for me. That's why I'm at 6.
Yeah, well, it did. I did subtract multiple points already. No, but it's 5 out of 10 because Jesus Christ. Okay, so Tilda Swinton's character,
I loved
it.
It was I loved it until the last 30 seconds. But she's so fucking weird and in kind of an amazing way, just the way she walks.
Yes.
She walks only at very
angles,
right angles, very sharply. She's
does
so
not
goofy,
walk diagonally,
and it's amazing. Every time she's talking, where she uses everyone's absolutely full name, and it was great.
I loved it.
But then,
and she doesn't seem to know, many technology and vehicles and things, and it turns out because she's an alien.
Yeah.
We're talking 50s style, fucking discs in the air, which
flying saucers,
So here we go, flying saucers. At the end of the film, they all head to the cemetery. Our cops, our main characters, Bill Murray and Adam Driver, and the female
Chloe Sevigny.
Chloe, she's in the cop car. They are just crowded with zombies. There's just no way these guys are getting out. Tilda's on her way with the little smart car, which, by the way, I love this little smart car that is supposed to be Adam Driver's character's legit car. Yeah. Seeing him roll up in that in his cop outfit for the first time just made me laugh out loud. Anyways, so I thought maybe she would rescue them or something with her sword or something, but she's like, no. Wow, all of these people are, they're certainly here. And then out of nowhere, she's like, why does she go to the cemetery to meet up if all she's really doing is leaving on her fucking flying saucer?
I don't know.
And I thought maybe the flying saucer would fire down a bunch of lasers, kill all the fucking zombies, or that once she entered it, she would help them out. But no, she enters them and fucking leaves these characters who she said she was going to, help out. Would you like me to do something?
No.
So she's like, fuck this planet, I'm leaving.
Yep. And this all takes 10 seconds.
My planet needs me.
Because it sounds like this is a developed scene. She just
4 out of 10.
She just walks into the cemetery, a flying saucer shows up, beams her up, and then she's gone.
Yeah. No, but you're forgetting the most important parts, just milking the scene, just the music and everything. It feels like something's gonna happen.
And then nothing happens.
And then this thing happens, which is something, but it is also nothing. And then that's it.
And then they do a lot throughout the entire film of breaking the fourth wall. In one of the very first scenes, they break the fourth wall, and then they don't do it again for almost an hour.
Let's talk about that. So it is the Dead Don't Die country song. And everybody's always, I love this song. This song's great. It plays during, we have an actual credit sequence, old school, where they show the actors on a black screen. You don't get any of the movie beforehand, nothing. You're forced to listen to the song, so it gets in your head. The very next scene, the cops are driving and they're on a ride out, and then they turn it on, and I'm like, oh my God, they fucking turned the song on. But they just did that in the previous scene, but they call it out, and Bill Murray's like, why does this song sound so familiar? Out of nowhere, they break the fourth wall. Adam's like, well, that's because it's the theme song.
And then they never address it, and then this like it ends.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
And then later on at the end of the movie, he's like, Adam Driver's character said, this isn't going to end well, or this is going to end badly, is what he says over and over. And Bill's like, shut up by the end. And he's like, why are you always saying this? And he's like, well, do you really want to know why? He says, yes. It's because I read the script. Jim gave me the script. And then Bill's like, what?
He only gave me our scenes.
That asshole gave you the script, not me the script. And that's it. It goes away to something else, and it's okay. That goes nowhere. I thought it's clever. I thought maybe that'll be an out for them somehow. But no, that's it.
Mel
it's
Brooks
just
did it better.
It's a narrated, and then Tom Waits is a bit of a narrator. He's a bit of a narrator, sort of a little bit at the beginning. No, not really, but definitely towards the end. He's narrating basically why this, trying to give some sort of reason to the film. And he says that basically making a commentary that we're all zombies, we're all
hungry for materials and newest fashion, whatever.
Yeah, and that's why in the trailer you see the zombies say Chardonnay, Wi-Fi, toys.
That goes on for a
candy.
really long time.
Yeah.
There's a 10-minute segment where it's like all the little kids are naming off all their favorite candies. And then the women are at the pharmacy talking about Ambien and Xanax.
Yeah.
And then they're playing their sports. And it keeps going on. And they beat it to death.
And I just couldn't tell if he really even gave a shit and he was just kind of saying it to say it. It didn't feel like somebody that is actually trying to make a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why it rang so hollow.
It's weird for weird's sake.
Yeah.
And it stops.
The way it filmed is just random zombies on a crossfade with the earth and just the situations like he's a freshman in film school. It's just really weird, very low effort. And I guess that's kind of plays into the whole thing. But you could tell that there's legitimate craftsmanship. So when something like that comes up, I'm like, I can't help but think it's done on purpose. I don't know. So they play that song over and over. I could tell this thing is going to annoy the fuck out of certain people. Same jokes over and over. Even the ones that are good get beat to the ground, and you're pissed off, and you want the characters to say "shut the fuck up," and they do. And then same song over and over. While it's a great song, I was like, oh, I'm gonna look this song up later. I might add it to my list. Not adding it to my list now. I've got my fill of that song.
Yeah,
we heard it a lot. I liked a couple gags. RZA's in this, and he's a Wu PS driver, where it's like the Wu-Tang symbol in there. I was like, this is hilarious, and they don't address it all. It's just you just see him show up in Wu PS. It's like I like that.
Right. You got a storyline of this kid who's delivering that package to, who runs the gas station. Selena Gomez, I
wasted
think,
character,
comes in. She's just this beautiful young girl, and he's attracted to her. She's impressed by his knowledge of zombie and horror movies. Later on, she dies just unceremoniously. They're all dead, and I said, no, I was like, oh, this is cool. But I like that part. It's cool because anybody can fucking die. It doesn't matter if it's fucking beautiful girl or a fucking Selena Gomez or some celebrity. They're fucking dead. That's the point. But then Adam Driver goes in there and fucking chops all their heads off. Makes a point to chop Selena's head off, but she's like, oh, well, he stops and he's like, oh, the CD. Yeah, this is a great song. Dead Don't Die. Puts it in his back pocket. Chops her head off and then just comes out with it. And we're just staring at Selena Gomez's head, doing? Blood dripping from her head. It's really graphic, and he's just like,
yeah.
Why?
And they're like, what?
He has an affinity for Mexicans. Remember, there was this whole scene where he's like, he just looks at everyone and goes, she's part Mexican. And
yeah, but that had nothing to do with anything.
No, not at all. It's just a weird. This movie's fucking weird.
Yeah.
So there's so many weird scenes in here that don't make sense. But
now it doesn't sound fascinating again. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back up from a 4 to a 5. So it's just fucking stupid.
Well, we didn't get to the main part. We didn't tell them why the zombies came back to life.
Okay.
So basically, what they were doing was a polar fracking, in which fucked up the rotation of the Earth and made it to go off its axis and mess up the moon and then all this crazy stuff started happening.
So we get voodoo zombies where they just like
Yeah.
slow rise from the dead. You know, no
Yeah.
zombies.
I like the effect and the look of the sky and the moon.
Yeah, that
I
was
really
cool.
like that glowing effect on the moon.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is just a great atmosphere. And it, a little bit of a political joke there. It's like fracking. We're fracking the world. Nothing's wrong with the fracking. And then on the radio, they're telling everybody there's
The PRs.
It has nothing to do with fracking. Everything's safe. Fracking the earth is fucking safe. Just don't worry about it. And there's a zombie apocalypse as a result from it. So,
But you were the zombie the whole time.
But we were the zombies the whole time, and everybody fucking dies, except for the guy that rejects everything and lives out in the woods. He rejects technology. He rejects, living off the system, and he just lives for himself. Wouldn't harm a fly, though towards the end he even breaks that rule and he's eating some chicken. Because the farmer guy, well, he lives off the land, but not stealing people's shit. Like at the end where he's eating chicken, he's like, that's good chicken. So he went and killed the farmer's chicken, which he was accused of doing at the beginning of the film, which he didn't. But by the end, he's like,
Fuck it.
I guess the farmer's dead. He got what he deserved. So now I'm going to eat his chicken.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is some good chicken.
He has a gun that actually is just a plank of wood with a
I
scope
like
on
that.
it, but somehow he shot at the cops in the very beginning of the movie with a plank of wood that has. It's like they don't address anything because this movie's.
And you can tell that this is that this movie's surreal and dreamy because the cops don't fire back immediately.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small town, so he recognizes him. He's like, there's no point shooting at this guy because he never had the intention of killing them anyway. And that's about it. So Tom Waits observes this movie and the society destroying itself, and we get a very surreal zombie comedy in the
Aliens.
meantime.
Don't forget aliens.
With some aliens thrown in there, for good measure.
Weird.
And all the animals leave or get aggressive, and
Except for the chicken.
Who's dead?
yeah, shot the chicken with this plank gun, I guess. That's it, guys. You can go ahead and skip this one and wait till it comes out on television or Netflix or something like that. But if it does, I would seek it out. But if you're a fan of surreal movies and you really like, the craft of forcing people to feel something different, maybe look it up. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Be sure to subscribe and ding our dong.
And check out some merch.
Thank you guys very much. See you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.
Second ending in order to sell our merch. And hit the subscribe button because that'll doodly-do us in very nicely.
Yes.
And it helps a lot.
Hey, and then if you like that we finally maybe figured out the sound.
Maybe.
Well, some of you have been telling us, golly gosh, that sometimes the sound's not all that great.
Yeah, gee willikers.
And I'm very hard to hear.
You see what I'm doing here?
So we'll see.
Do you get what I'm doing?
Yeah, I get what you're doing.
I know
I'm doing-
exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So well, don't ruin the sound like that, Joe. We turned up the compressors up because we'll just
We just started playing with all the knobs.
Oh,
did
sometimes
Is that how you
sometimes
do
I get loud and then
Is that
I
how you
get
do it?
quiet.
yeah, you do.
Just play with the knobs. So
You have to line it up.
No.
No.
this is not gonna end well. It's gonna end badly.
Mm-hmm. It did end badly.
This is gonna end badly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I must go now. My people need me.
That was weird.
We did our own weird thing.